Starting in the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most gracious. Welcome to our class.
Thank you so much,
Is
sir.
everyone doing well?
Yes.
That's great. Well, so past simple, as you practically used, it shows an action that happened at a specific time or a particular time in the past. If you did something and the time is clear, then you have to use past simple tense. And here in this tense, we use the second form of verb. When we come to the structure, after subject, you have to use the second form, or it is also called the past form of verb, followed by rest of the sentence. And the formula for changing a verb into second form is adding d, ed, or id at the end, so it becomes the second form. Ad, ed, or ied with some of the verbs, so they become the second form. And here also, if you remember, we studied in the verb that we have two types of verbs, regular and irregular. Regular verbs follow this formula, and irregular verbs do not take d, ed, or id at the end. You know, they have their own rules. They actually do not have any rules. They have their own forms. Like the second form is different from the first one, and third is also different. But there we have different types of categories. Like the first and the third form are the same, the second is different. The first is different, the second and third are the same. And in some of the verbs, first, second, third, all the same. So this formula is only for regular verbs. And do you know about the difference between d, ed, or ied? When to add them?
Yes.
When to add d, when to add ed, and when to add ied at the end of the verb, while changing that into second form.
So the words that ends with E is
E,
R, E, and the words that ends with Y, we remove Y.
A verb ends in E,
Yes.
that takes only D.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. And
If a word,
Word consonant.
all. With all the regular verbs, we add ed, except verbs ending in E. And ied,
Words ends with Y.
consonant plus Y.
Consonant plus Y.
So we add ied. Except this formula and this one, all the rest of regular verbs take ed at the end. And then d, ed, or ied has three different pronunciations.
The-
Pronunciation. When a verb ends in T or D, the pronunciation is id. Like want ends in T. If you add ed at the end, it becomes
wanted.
wanted. Aid, the ed, and it becomes added.
Ended.
And start,
Started.
started.
Ended.
End, ended. So a verb ending in T or D, the pronunciation is id. And the second pronunciation, when a verb ends in voiceless sound, the last D or ED is pronounced as T. And what are voiceless sounds? Like sh, sh, t. When we pronounce these sounds, you know, the vocal cord doesn't vibrate. Here is not any vibration in the throat. So these are voiceless sound. When a verb ends in one of these sounds, the last D or ED is pronounced as T. Like walk. The second form becomes walked. Not to say wagged. If you say wagged, then this K is pronounced as G. The D K pronunciation hambe change ki. Wagged. If you pronounce it as K and D, it is impossible. It is hard to pronounce. Like wagged. Difficult to pronounce. So what? Or what? What? If you say watched, that is difficult to pronounce. So what? Walked. In some more examples. Washed. She is also a voiceless sound. And the third pronunciation is when a verb ends in voiced sounds. A verb ends in a voiced sound. The pronunciation is D. And all rest of the sounds except these are voiced sounds. So normally at the end of a verb, when we add D-ED or I-ED, we pronounce it as D. But in these sounds, we pronounce it as T. And in this, we pronounce it as id. And except these two formulas, the ending D, ED or IED is pronounced as D. Like studied, played, and so on. Studied. E is, its own sound.
No, studied.
The sound of Y.
Studied.
We did not add it. Yes.
Studied.
The E sound of the Y sara. Steady, and we add only D. Studied.
Studied.
And here we add wanted. The regular verbs ki chikam verbuna D, ED, I, ED akhli. No ka D sara, E sara khatam vi. Be yawasi D saba ko zaka yawzal tayar E vi be zarurat nahi. Aw ka Y sara khatam vi, aw the Y namak ki consonant vi, biya I, ED saba ko Y pa I change ki, Y ba na likho. Aw pate cholo verbuna sara che regular vi ED akhli. Umumi ED de. Sangai beba sirf chide ED. Aw daga D, ED, I, ED pa N ki dawadri talafuz alari. Id, D. Kalaka ya verb pa D aw ya T sara khatam vi. The day sara akhira ki ED saba ki ya talafuz be id vi. Aw kala chi pa voiceless sound sara ya verb khatam vi pa akhira ki D ya ED cha talafuz ki T. Aw je kala pa voiced sound sara khatam vi biya D. Voiceless आ गई चे पट तलफुज की दलता वाइब्रेशन नहीं तो गोरे कि बीखे आवाज वम न बासे तलफुज की अम्मा तम मिम दा से तलफुज का आवाज मऊ बासा नवेले की hatman b दाबा तलफुज के ग G kata vibration होने की ना तलफ़ुज़ की अम्मा बगैर दे vibration ना उस तलफ़ुज़ की अम्मा d nation that's all the vibration होने श no voiceless sound आगे दी चागा पारे की दलता vibration नरामज़ तकी और voiced आगे दी च vibration रामज़ तकी दा pronounce के हम दा formula दा the zinu numunu sara च ऐसी सापके no स तलफ़ुज़ की like books और the zinu sara z तलफ़ुज़ की like pens amdal tamda khabarada k is a voiceless sound so s at the end is pronounced as s and n is a voiced sound so s is pronounced as z no kala chi yo noun ya verb ke ham jab voiceless sound sara khatam wi akhir s e singa talaffuz ki s aur jab voiced sound sara khatam wi bi z talaffuz ki Okay, so the auxiliary verb of past simple is did. It means we can change all the sentences into negative and interrogative with the help of did. So did is the second form of do, and which is used as both man verb and helping verb in simple past tense. So the negative structure for past simple is using subject, did, plus not, and you can also use the conjunctive form didn't followed by the base form of verb and then rest of the sentence. Verb beta first form the wale razi zakka da majburat pa asas pandi pa musbat ki mung second form use ko tar so de sar agreement ushi ki da past tense de os ka cherta dalta munga did use kal it is already the second form. The agreement the dwala wo show past show kigi, it is not important to use it. Use the second form of man verb. Udit zarurat pati bi khina show. Fir takhpal halat tarazi. Aw da sirf pa de do tense ki present simple aw past simple ki verb beta change ki khpal halat tarazi no tense ke narazi tolo ki yaw shad jo kum use shama ga use ki. The interrogative structure is using did at the beginning followed by subject, again the base form of verb and complement or rest of the sentence. And for negative interrogative, again we have two structures, didn't plus subject plus verb. Or in British we use did at the beginning followed by subject, then not after subject, and again the base form of verb and rest of the sentence at the end. Now look, the same thing I'm going to repeat, that using did not as full form at the beginning of the sentence followed by subject in base form of verb is not a correct structure. Not ya subject na urusta kamak use kawai the contracted form.
The first, this one, the didn't plus plus.
It's American and it is British. For WH question, again WXSV.
WXSV,
And here the auxiliary verb is did.
Did.
And verb is
second verse.
base form.
Base form of the verb.
Oh yes.
Because in question we use did.
In auxiliary, after auxiliary, we use the first one.
Of course. Like, what did you do? What do you do?
No.
No, sir. And
What do you do is
And this is present simple.
yeah.
And what are you doing?
What are doing belong to present continuous tense.
It is
Continuous.
present continuous. The same structure. WH question order at the beginning, auxiliary verb, subject, and verb. Where did he go?
Where did he go?
Where do you go?
Where did he go? Where does he go? And where is he going?
Yeah.
The common mistake that all the students make is using the second form of the verb in negative and interrogative. غلط غلطی شاگردان کی په منفی او سوالیه کې the verb second form use کوي فکر نه ورته did use to direct base form use کوي نو همیش په منفی او سوالیه کې شاگرد second form use کوي وې simple past دی نو the did use to verb به the base form راځي نو pairs ته ګورئ did plus base form do does plus base form s plus verb ing ملګری وای دا past meaning ورکه دا دوامدار meaning ورکه همدا اوس where did he go چیرته تللی واغه where does he go هغه روزمره چیرته ځي and where is he going هغه چیرته روان دی present continuous present simple and past simple what did you do تا څه وکړل یا تا څه کړی دي what do you do ته څه کوي دوامدار and what are you doing ته څه کوي همدا اوس and who is used as the positive structure who the musbat structure pashan use kigi like who works present simple who worked
who did you bring here?
whom did you bring
No, who did you bring here? Is it right?
What does it mean? Of course it is right, but here who is used instead of who. ودلته who the whom پر ځای use شوی دی اصل کې به whom راځي.
Whom did you bring here?
Oh, whom did you bring? Subject پکې ته object نه معلوم دی. Whom did you bring تا څوک راوستلی دی دلته. اوس کولی شي د whom په ځای who هم وایي. Who did you bring? خو د object لپاره use شو. هلته کښېنه منډه. Who works, who worked, and who is working.
That was like the
دلته who د subject لپاره use شو نو who به چې کله تاسو په who کې ډبل کوېسچن جوړوئ نو ما تاسو ته ویلو چې داسې به راځي لکه مثبت جمله کې چې کوم راکمي د he په شان use کېږي لکه he works who works he worked who worked he is working who is working نو who څوک subject لپاره use کېږي او structure به WXSV نه وي دا څه به وي لکه مثبت لکه he چې څنګه use کېږي هو معنا څوک نه دی معلوم کله چې پوښتنه کوو دا هو په جمله کې چې کله موږ یوز کوو دا ډبلیو کوېسچن ورډ دی که نه پوښتنه کوو څوک یا چا اوس دغه هو چې ته استعمالوې دا هم یو ډبلیو کوېسچن ورډ دی خو په دې سټرکچر کې به نه یوز کوې او همیشه به پسې سینګولر ورب راځي ځکه معلوم نه یو نفر دی ډېر دي نو هو چې کله هم راغی ورپسې به فرست فورم راځي اما کله چې سټیټ مونږ ښایو state الته بیا هو نه وروسته سبجیکټ بیا وروسته راځي دا object په اس باندې یوز شي لکه زویم چې هو ور دی دلته هو نه وروسته سنګولر نه راځي ځکه الته پسې وروسته سبجیکټ پلورل دی نو نارمل په جملو کې کله چې ورب موجود وي همدغه د چا په حق چې پوښتنه کېږي چې څوک چې دا کار تر سره کوي نو ورب به همیش سنګولر اخلي پلورل نه whom نه ځکه کله چې د سبجیکټ په اړه پوښتنه کېږي به whom نه راځي who به استعمالوي whom هغه وخت کې استعمالوي چې سبجیکټ بل څوک وي کار بل څوک تر سره کوي خو چا لپاره یا چاته یا څوک ریسیور دی نو بیا whom وایي whom did you bring who did you bring تا څوک راوستلی دی ګوره ما تاسو ته ویلي وو په دې جمله کې object نامعلوم دی سبجیکټ معلوم دی چې ته تا څوک راوستلی هغه څوک چې راوستلی هغه نه دی معلوم ریسیور نه دی معلوم نو موږ به whom استعمالو په دې سټرکچر کې وایم درته whom did you bring نه هغسې نه
whom did you bring مثلا کنه
whom did you bring تا څوک راوستلی دی که ته وایې چې د whom پسې زه who راولم څه معنا به ورکړي معنا د یو شی بیا به هم object نامعلوم وي اما دا هم صحیح دی خو صحیح د ټول کې چې باید موږ د object لپاره یوز کوو whom استعمالو کولی شو who هم استعمال کو خو فارمل نه دی د object لپاره معنا د یو شی بیا به اوس سبجیکټ نه دی معلوم که نه ته به who ډایرکټ استعمال کړې په دې سټرکچر کې who brought you who به استعمال کړې ځکه سبجیکټ نامعلوم دی ته چا راوستلی object شته نو who سره به پوښتنه کوې who سره چې پوښتنه کوې د who لپاره سټرکچر داسې دی direct verb
brought you. Chara wasti.
Oh. Zuma, who talked? Cha khabare wukli. Who helped you? Ta sara cha amrasta wakla. Who gave you money? Ta ta cha paise darkli. Who brought you? Ta chara wastali. نو دلته و سبجیکټ نامعلوم دی چې سبجیکټ کلم نامعلوم به په دا سټرکچر نه یوز کوئ ډایرکټ به سټرکچر یوز کوئ لکه مثبت دا هو به خپل سبجیکټ وي ورپسې به ورب همداسې نو ګوره whom did you bring او who did you bring دا دواړه یو شی دی اما فارمل طریقې دا ده ځکه ابجیکټ نامعلوم دی باید ابجیکټ لپاره whom سره پوښتنه وکړو کولی شو who هم استعمال کړي او معنا کې به تغییر نه راځي کمنګ ته وای چې اوس هو راغنه معنا به چینج ده هو معنا به وخت چینج چې دې سټرکچر کې راغلی دی به دا ډو ور وي د عمل لپاره پوینټ باندې خسته خلاصه دا شو هو هم د فرق دار چې کله سبجیکټ نامعلوم وي هو براسي چې ابجیکټ نامعلوم وي هم براسي سټرکچر مختلف دي هم لپاره ډبل ایکس اس وی ځکه سبجیکټ خوشتا کنه او هو لپاره به مثبت سټرکچر په شان دی وایو به کول شو د هم په ځای هو هم وایو په ابجیکټیو کیس کې معنا به تغییر نه کوي انفارمل وي لکه دا whom did you bring او who did you bring دواړه یو شی دی ابجیکټ لپاره دواړه یوز کولای شو
We didn't study usages.
so we use it for past specific time action
So, which or what are the same as we studied in?
of course if they are used as adjectives they are followed by a noun
Yes.
past specific time action دا مو ویلي چې تیر معلوم وخت یو عمل تر سره شوی we use past simple we can also use it for past daily past regular and past habitual past state an action
The same as simply present tense.
yes but here we use was word
Yes.
instead of SMR an action happened before another action in the past a past habit
Sir, the
Mhm.
the fifth one is means general fact, in fact.
yes general fact
General fact.
past habit that no longer exists like I came yesterday past daily I woke up at 5 when he was in Kabul past regular they went to the park every Sunday past habitual They talked in the class. A lot. At university. Fact. He was a good boy.
We have two types of facts, sir.
Yes, so in past we can also use, general fact, changeable fact, not universal. Of course, universal fact, when something was in a situation before, still it is in the same position or situation.
But if I say,
So we do not use past, like we don't say Allah was one. We always say Allah is one.